All right. Today we're going to talk about strength training and the importance that it plays in an overall program. So I guess the first question we'll talk about is give us a bit of an idea about what is strength training.
So strength training, Chris, is where we get some benefit by usually obviously lifting weights, where we actually get some muscle gain, I guess, on the muscles that we're actually trying to work specifically for, in this case, running. And that can come from either a basic gym program that you've had written at the gym. Obviously, we're doing our strength and conditioning sessions on Monday nights. If you're doing a group session, if MetaFit, for instance, or there's a whole range of different group or individual personal training, strength training sessions out there. So, and the benefits are amazing. So, especially for people who haven't done any form of strength training, even very basic exercises, there's no doubt the results people can get.
And I guess that's the next lead into why should we be doing it? And we touched a little bit on, but what are we going to get out of actually doing strength? How is that going to help our running?
Yeah, I think two things. So certainly from a physical point of view, we'll get some physical benefits. So we'll actually be able to run faster, we'll be able to run longer, we won't fatigue as easily. And also from a mental point of view, we'll actually know we've done that hard training, that we can actually really sustain that work once it is getting hard. And there are often the times where it does test you, and you can draw on the training you've done, whether it's the running or the stretching or the Pilates or the strength training. So all those benefits culminating knowing that you've actually done some really good work. But certainly from a strength training point of view, we've actually made ourselves stronger for that function of running, and that's the key.
And there's a little bit of, and there's some information out there about how it can reduce injury.
Yep. Yeah, so you've all sort of answered that, Chris. So again, and often that's the case. I think people who do have those niggles, who are getting injured, often we can look back and maybe they don't have a really good, strong strength base as such. So for those people who have been injured, if you do get injured and you've got a really good resistance training base, you'll probably get over those injuries much easier, but as you touched on, we'll also hopefully reduce the chance of getting injured if we've got a really good strong core and good all over strength, not just legs in this case, but we focus more on legs in the program, but we also do an all over program for that reason.
And one of the questions that we have is also, how should we fit it in? When should we be doing it?
Yeah, and that can be tough because people are doing, as we touched on, other group sessions, Pilates, stretching, swimming, maybe just other organised sports. So fitting that in can be a little bit tricky. But again, we probably talk about doing between 1 to no more than 3 sessions a week. And normally those are, for me, I reckon 45 minutes is key. So if you took an average there, if we said sort of 2 sessions a week, that's all it needs to be. And ideally you do, the running's the key here. That's what most people are aiming to improve at. So you do a run, let's say for example on a Monday morning, and maybe on the Monday afternoon you do a strength session, or it might be you've got time straight after that run, you could do that then. So timing is, you've got to fit that in, but we're not talking 5 sessions a week, it's 1 to 2, maybe 3 at max.
Perfect. And in relation to fitting it in, our programs run for approximately 16 weeks.
Yep.
We should be placing more of an emphasis on at the start of the program, at the end of the program, in the middle.
So key is early. So get some really good training base, I guess, again, or some good levels in early, and then we can build on that and we can potentially reduce that workload as we go. But that first sort of 6 to 10 weeks is crucial to get your strength training work in. And again, that depends if someone hasn't had any strength work, or if you've actually done that for a long time, you can vary that. But from a running program point of view, certainly in those first 10 weeks, that's the key.
What type of exercises should we be doing?
Yep, so ones that, as we touched on, are functional to your running, but we also go all over as well. So things like squats, lunges, deadlifts even, we recommend for people sort of starting out as well. So movement-specific exercises that will help their running. And then if there's particular, someone's got a weaker left hamstring, for instance, it might be we do some supplementary work on that side to help on that injury or issue as well. So really specific exercises, Chris, to what we're aiming to build at.
In our programs, we have sets and reps and rest periods.
Yep.
Can you sort of explain a little bit about what they mean, and then also what our runners should be doing?
Yeah, so sets we talk about is how many sets we actually do. So generally we do a 2 to 3 set program, and in that we do, it might be 10 to 15 repetitions. So if you said we're doing 15 repetitions of one set, that's that. So we do 3 sets of 15 essentially. And that's similar to what our guys are doing in the program from now on. So and rest time, I think you said. So generally we try and limit the recovery time in between sets, but around about up to sort of 60 seconds is a good time frame.
We've spoken about how often, but how often we should be doing it per week? Is there a time period of how much rest we need in between our sessions of when we work out?
Yeah, it's a good point. So ideally, from one session to the next, especially when we've worked the same muscle groups, we want to have at least 48 hours. And that can be touching on what you said before about if we're doing running and we're doing some strength work, sometimes there is that top up, I guess, where you're not actually possibly giving enough rest to especially quads and glutes, but from a strength training point of view, a couple of days if you can.
And how long should our sessions last for? Are we talking 30 minutes, an hour and a half?
Yeah, all those, Chris. So for some people, it might be 30 minutes. You can work really hard in 30 minutes, get some great results in that time. But probably as a perfect workout, I remember reading one article a while ago, it was 45 minutes. So anywhere between that 30 minutes to 60 minutes is a really good time, and it doesn't really need to be any longer than that.
Perfect. Anything else you want to add?
That's good for now, Chris. Thanks.
Thanks.